But let's come down to Eastern Africa. And of course, the past 2 weeks have seen a number of headlines across all our media. But there's one very interesting story of a very young lawyer in Kenya who has put out his heart, or has poured his heart out to the United States, and particularly to the White House. Now, let's look at the African tradition here. A very well-known characteristic of African marriage is payment of bride price, or what we locally refer to as dowry. Unlike in other cultures where dowry is paid by the parents of the girl, in non-Muslim Black Africa, it is always the parents of the boy or the man who pay dowry to the parents of the girl. But with modern traditions, some families on the continent are eliminating the practice and using the traditional occasion to appreciate the parents of the girl. Now, in a rather interesting turn of events, there's a lawyer making headlines for either the right or wrong reasons, and he joins me now in studio. Should he be vindicating himself, or is he here to still pour his heart out? Join me in welcoming Felix Kiprono, who is a young lawyer here in Kenya. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Joy.
You've since changed your accent since I think that story aired. You've adopted an American accent. What's going on?
No, it's not about adopting the American or African accent as my accent since.
It has been your accent since?
Yes.
Since when?
I mean, we all learn from this African culture and from this Kenya's education system, so maybe I was lucky to be there by these teachers of English, but I don't care about that.
Well, this should be an interesting discussion. So, you've offered 50 cows and 70 sheep and a number of goats. In America, they're putting it at about $90,000, but I think you need to calm down. In Africa, I think it wouldn't amount to 90,000 US dollars. It's much, much less than that. So what exactly is going on? Are you just seeking, cheap popularity, or are you serious about this?
No, not at all. I hope you understand the seriarium of events here that encapsulate all these issue about the Kalenjin customary law. In fact, it wasn't my offer, it was the offer from the elders of my Kenyagoro clan of the Kalenjin community. In Kalenjin we got the sub-tribes, and at the top we got the Kaipsikis at the top, followed by NDK, up the list of Ogig. So it's the Kenyagoro clan of the Kaipsikis community that offer that that offer is only booking offer. You should also understand the fact that Malia, currently she's a minor, and that offer was only meant to booking her. It's not about the hand in marriage.
I know you're talking about booking, but you've previously indicated in the Nairobian paper, which is an affiliate newspaper of the Standard Media, you've indicated that you've been fantasizing about this girl since she was 10 years old. I mean, 10 years old, aren't you a potential pedophile?
No, that's not true at all, because all those days when I was back in my high school, I was also a minor, and I just came to like about the first family. It's not about my love for that minor. I just came to like this first family, so it's that my likeness to the first family that have really motivated me into inducing the elders to make this booking offer.
All right, so how exactly is this going to go? You recently also did intimate that you were going to the courts to seek, can I call it, more of an explanation, to use the simplest of words,
exactly,
on what the Constitution says. What exactly do you even mean by that?
Since the time that I made this booking offer, there have been many reactions from the international community and also the local community, saying that this culture, this in the African culture, it's so retrogressive, it's so it's kind of motherly, and that's why I saw it well and fit to first of all subject the same process, the eyes of the court, to make a determination whether the Kalenjin customary law, and by extension the customary laws of other communities in Kenya, is consistent to the Constitution and by extension the international law. Because remember, the Constitution, if you read about Article 44, it opens the application of the customary law. Also, Article 24 talks about the customary law being constant to equity, and also to that in not being repugnant to justice and morality. So I just want to court to adopt the same, and the application that I'm set to launch before the court is for the court to determine whether my move and the customary law is consistent with the Kenya's constitution. Because there have been this paradigm shift about the Kenya's customary law. Remember, if you read about the Article 45 of the Kenya's constitution, it talks that, and it says clearly that parties to marriage are equal at the time of the marriage, during the marriage, and at the dissolution of the marriage. So they are all equal, but the same has not been subjected to, there's no any case law, there's no any precedent to set the record straight, and that's why the only case law that on customary law is the SM Otieno case, and I like the locus classicus, but Justice Bosaya, he said that an African man is an African man, and that's why he awarded the same in the body of the late city lawyer SM Otieno to Nyalkuga clan, because the court recognized then the existence of the customary law, and that's why the court ruled in favor of the Nyalkuga clan of the Luo customary law. And that's why the move that I'm undertaking is for the court to determine whether the so-called token of appreciation or the pride prize or all that stuff about the customary law is considered the law.
All right, let's just for 1 second forget about what the law says. In your right mind, do you think you're actually doing the right thing?
I mean, I'm not seeking any hand of marriage with regards to the minor. I'm only booking my community is only my clan is making that offer to booking her, but the same is subject to the approval by that first family and also by the said minor when she attains the age of maturity. Right now, she's a minor, and in fact, we can't talk about her, and that's why I've been talking about the first family, that offer to the first family.
Exactly. Now, if you look at the screen, there are a number of headlines that have been made. You've made headlines all across board. I think CNN and all these other Fox News, the Washington Post, and everybody has written about this story. And you know, you've actually provoked a lot of ridicule from a lot of people, including citizens of the United States of America. How does that make you feel, knowing that we're living in modern-day Africa, where things like booking and all that actually never cross people's minds in today's modern Africa?
It does, and that's why, with due respect to our Constitution, it's not about our customary laws or about our mode of living being inconsistent with the law. It's all within the presence of the law, and that's why I told you, if you read about Article 44 and Article 24, it recognizes by extension the existence of these cultural norms but these unwritten laws of the customary, and that's why it has motivated me to really go and seek the cast interpretation. So it's not about our laws being inferior. I think all these reactions about the international community, they are entitled to that reaction, and that's why I believe as Africa, there comes a time for us to rethink our laws also, even though I may partly agree with them and also beg also to disagree with them, but they're entitled to that reaction.
All right, I'm just looking at some of the tweets that are coming through here, and somebody's saying, you know, you've adopted a very thick American accent. We're going to talk more about that when we get back, and of course, whether or not he thinks President Barack Obama and the First Lady Michelle Obama are even going to react to any of these headlines that are being made across board. And my guest in studio, Felix Kiprono, I'm really having a hard time trying to understand his English. And by the way, I don't know if I should call it Kenyan American accent or anyway, let me just leave it at that. And he's here to tell us what exactly his motives are. And he's denying that he's not a pedophile, but he says his elders from his community, that is the Kalenjin community, are the ones who have made an offer. It's a booking offer. It's not that he is trying to propose to Malia Obama. But then someone on Twitter called Mate is saying something is fishy about his motives. Why now? Because Obama is coming to town?
No. Maybe I can say this is a matter of coincidence, but that does not mean like I just took advantage of this opportunity. No. I think it's just a good coincidence.
It's just a coincidence?
Yes.
Okay. Somebody else here is saying this lawyer guy has already made moves and dated Malia Obama in his head. Is that true?
No. I haven't. And that's why initially I told you that I haven't fallen in love with that minor. It's only my likeness to the first family since the year 2008 when I was also still a minor.
So you're not exactly in love with her?
No, I'm not. It's just my likeness to the first family.
So let's just picture the list of scenarios. But if it just so happens that maybe, you know, President Barack Obama even responds to whatever offer has been made by elders from your community, what is going to be your reaction if in the list of all things, he actually says he's going to sue your community.
No, there's no point of suing because...
Because much as he's the US president, he's also a lawyer.
Yes.
The First Lady is a lawyer as well.
Yes.
So if they say they're going to sue your community, what are you going to do about it?
It's not about suing here because, remember, I haven't made any offer to the minor. This is just a booking offer. It's not an offer for hand in marriage. It's just a booking offer, and it has existed from the time immemorial. And even the international law, they recognize the issues about the customs. That's why if you read even about the Article 38, 1B of the Statute of the International Court of Justice, it recognizes the customs. So it is a norm that is even recognized internationally. So, but the point here is that it's not about the offer for hand in marriage. It's just about the booking offer.
All right, and we also have somebody here. Well, a lot of people are finding it hard to understand your accent, so maybe you might want to tell us, did you grow up in the US? Did you grow up here?
No, this is just an African accent. It's just a normal English unless you want to interview me in my...
When you say community, you think that is a normal African accent?
It's normal unless you want to interview me in my native language, then it's fine. But remember, as Africans,
you've said things like offer, and you said things like community. You've said, you know, in our normal African accent, we would say community. We would say offer. You know, and you've used a totally different accent. And a lot of people are saying you've adopted that accent since you made the offer to...
No, that's false. I think we should recognize the fact that all things we're talking about, the English lingua, it's a foreign language unless... I think also it's a challenge to us as Africans. I think there comes a time for us to really adopt our real African native languages. For instance, you ought to have been interviewing me maybe in Kakai or in Kalenjin or any other tribe lingua, but since it's an English, we just forced to do the same.
All right, I can't deal with this anymore. So I would like to give you a minute to just explain to people and what you'd want them to know, what they've misunderstood about you and what exactly you would like to put right, because I think I'm out of patience. I can't deal with this anymore.
Thank you. I think, first of all, I beg to adopt the sentiment from the well-renowned professor. Today I was seeing the newspaper, the Daily Nation, paid a refer about another professor. I think he really or she really made that point of explaining about the African customer, and that's why I told you it just starts with a booking offer. If she's a minor, then it will come at that point of making a formal offer. Then now comes the dating and all that stuff. So all these are processes, and it's recognized by the law, about our constitution and also international law. So it's not about something like new. It's been existing since the time immemorial, and it beats the substantive test of the law. That's all.
All right, and you've heard him. I don't even know why I said, you know what, let me have Felix Kiprono on air, but I just thought it was also a point for him to clear the air and make people understand. So from what I picked from him is his community made the offer, not exactly him. And he knows that Malia is a minor. She's 16 years old. And, well, I don't even know what to say after all this. But I hope all these international headlines that are being made can calm down a little bit, because, well, what is 50 cows? What is 70 sheep? And I don't know how many goats, for crying out loud. In some cultures, actually, they would go up to 200 goats. So 50 goats or cows is almost nothing. My name is Doreen Biira. Africa remains a rising continent, and I'll leave you with that music video as our music video of the week.
Oh, shake it for Africa. Do it for Africa. Oh, mama. Oh, shake it for Africa. Oh, you rise up and stand up for Africa.
See the whole world be looking at us. Yeah, cause our land is honey. All the future money. And see now, see I